You might be looking at this and think, what is up with all these goose photos, these geese and duck photos? They're not even that special. Well, no, they're not, but I like taking them, and it's fun, especially with my new Nikon D500, to get shots like this. Now that camera is, well, so this is not a good wildlife photo for that camera because this is a fairly static subject, and that camera is really great at tracking birds when they're in flight and a lot of frantic motion. Not a lot of that going on here, but the reason this was possible because my D500 was two things. Number one, the flip out screen in the back made it possible for me to hold my camera at a low angle, like low to the ground, and then still compose a shot with using live view. And also the focusing on that camera in live view is a lot quicker. Now it's nowhere near like a Sony A9 or something like that. It's using contrast detect focus instead of phase detect. It's pretty unsophisticated, but it is pretty snappy, all things considered, for a subject like this. It's not moving around a whole lot. So what I did was I held my camera down in front of me, and this is a duck or a goose by Theta Pond, and I flipped the screen out, and this goose was like preening itself, so fluffing up its feathers or whatever geese do, and I positioned the focus point right at where I wanted his eye to be, waited for him to tip his head up, and then focused with the back button, and then waited some more because then he would tip his head away again. And as soon as his head was in the right position, I snapped a photo. And I did that several times, and it was neat to do it in this environment where things were constantly changing. There was other ducks and geese swimming around behind, and there was changing lighting conditions. There was trees kind of blowing in the wind, and all this took place in just a matter of minutes here. We're talking like 2 or 3 minutes, but a lot happens on a pond with geese and ducks in a couple minutes. The thing I like about this photo is you get this glint in his eye, and you can tell that there's light behind me, the photographer, that you can see in his eye. And it's like the goose is considering things like, who's this person with the camera? What's going on with the sun and these other things? I don't know if the goose is thinking any of that at all, but I like the little glint in his eye. I also shot this at f1.8, which I usually don't do on my 85mm lens because the photos just don't always turn out quite so great. The optical characteristics on that particular lens at f1.8 are not as ideal as I would like. Certainly not like the Sigma 40mm I tested a year ago. And there's other lenses that are much cleaner at wide open apertures. But for the price you pay for that 85 1.8, it's pretty awesome to have access to 1.8 when you want it. So it was fun to get this photo, and I'm sure it won't be the last photo of a goose or a duck that I share here on the blog.